Welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to yet another edition of the dceu Daily. I suppose we could have called yesterday Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut Batman Hour because this was sensational. Because out of nowhere, as usual with Zack, you never know what he's going to do next. He puts out this Batman poster, then he puts out a promo, a little mini trailer, a Batman promo for Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut, a mini 30-second trailer. And you saw my reaction on this very channel yesterday. I was so energized, impassioned. I was crying watching it repeatedly. It was so emotional, especially that moment when Superman is helping Batman up onto the ledge or the chimney or whatever it is, right? It's kind of a thematic situation, really, and it always is with Zack. You know, Superman lifting Batman up from his darkness. Now, this has been the arc since BVS. So for you people who didn't understand what was going on here, that's what was going on. Basically, in BVS, we're talking about an older Bruce Wayne, a worn and torn, damaged Bruce Wayne, Batman, who now brands people and is willing to kill his enemies. And if someone doesn't inspire him and make him better, then he carries on the same lines. He doesn't form the Justice League, and Steppenwolf and Darkseid will take over and the nightmare future will come to pass. Well, luckily for Batman and Bruce Wayne, there's Superman. Now, at first, he hates Superman. Superman is everything that Batman does not like in this point of his life. Because Superman is more of an inspirational hero. You know, Bruce Wayne, when he's talking to Clark Kent, talks about, you know, puff pieces in the Daily Planet, about Superman saving cats from trees or whatever he says. And also he sees Superman as this really powerful alien that can destroy the world. He's scared of him, and so he should be afraid of him. After what we see what happens in the nightmare future, where Darkseid takes control of Superman and Superman becomes an agent of Darkseid. And then we get that whole thing where the Flash comes from the future and says, you were right about him. And it turns out that Superman is a threat. Not because Superman's evil, but because someone has taken advantage of Superman's power. But what happens in the present day is Superman turns Batman around. When he realizes he's got a human mother who he's worried about at that moment, that whole Martha thing, that's what it's about. And then Batman and Superman stand together to fight Doomsday. And then when Superman sacrifices himself, he sees something better than himself, better than the human condition of a being, you know, willing, a superpowered, all-powerful being, willing to sacrifice himself for humanity. At that moment when he's watching him, he realizes a better version of himself, and he's inspired, and he wants to make Superman proud in death. I didn't honor him in life, but I honor him in death. I've got tears when I first saw that. Amazing. And that's what all that lifting him up is about. So it's a great promo. We're going to talk about a lot of things here on today's DCEU Daily. But first I want to talk about early access, because I think this is important. We have discovered in the past few days that it's not just journalists that will have early access to Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. In fact, it's a lot of fans of Zack's with, you know, huge platforms. And there's a lot of envy, there's a lot of bitterness out there. There's people saying, I thought we were supposed to be standing together, and we're not. Let me give you a scenario, an analogy. It's a bit like the prince and the pauper situation. In life, there's always people who will kiss up to the prince, who will never say anything to upset the prince because they're worried the prince may banish them from his, or the princess or the queen, or whoever, or the royal society. So they're always ready there to say the right thing. So when Ray Fisher tweets, there's no opinion apart from, you go, Ray, yeah, WB. And whatever Zack says, it's the same thing. And so, like, take me, for example. I've got a very small platform, but I'm different. I don't care about upsetting the prince. I'm happy to start a platform like this and call it Big Mouth and say whatever the fuck I want. I remember a couple of years ago saying something a bit controversial, saying maybe if Zack, Jeff Johns and the studio just sat together and came to an agreement together, Zack could have had his vision and then moved on. And that didn't go down very well. Now, although I stand with Ray Fisher in terms of what he's fought for, standing his ground, I think he's a tenacious, brave young man, I didn't like the way he's gone after Walter Hamada, because I think it's a bit unfair seeing Walter Hamada came in after the fact. That hasn't gone down well, so I ain't going to get my press pass. I ain't going to get early access to the Snyder Cut. And then I think to myself, do I need to interview Zack Snyder? Do I need early access? Do I need to go to the virtual premiere? No, that's another issue that's happened. So we're getting a lot of these good boys and girls showing off and coming onto Twitter mostly and saying, oh, I'm so excited and grateful for this. Now listen, we have to be fair and we have to be balanced. If I had early access, if I got an email of early access, right, of notification of early access, of course I'd be bragging about it. I'd be very excited. I don't know if I would be bragging about it, actually. I'm thinking about it again, and I did say this the other day. Even if I did have early access, I don't think I'd talk about it, because it does rub it into people who don't have early access. Because people kind of look at it like this. Well, I supported Zack. This is how people look at it. I hashtagged. I donated to suicide prevention. Why don't I get early access? And it's quite simple, really. It's not because you haven't been a good boy or a good girl, or you've disrespected Zack or Ray or anything like that. It's because your platform isn't big enough. So in Zack's position and what he's attempting to do in restoring the Snyderverse and making Zack Snyder's Justice League successful, because Zack Snyder's Justice League must be successful so we can restore the Snyderverse, he needs these fans with a large platform to kind of help him out. So he needs to scratch their backs so they can scratch theirs. So they have got these big platforms, these big successful channels. They smile in the right places, and they've managed to get access to Zack, and they're able to get early access. I mean, maybe kind of watching it as early as the critics are. The critics are watching it as we speak, basically. There's a lot of people out there now that have seen Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. Exciting for them. But then I think it's all about having confidence in yourself and who you are and what you stand for and what you represent as a person. Do I want to be these people? I mean, let's be honest about it. I'm better looking than them. I get laid more than them. I live in a big house. I've mentioned this before. Would I really want to swap places with a larger platform? I could easily change my luck around with this platform. I use a basic laptop. Built-in camera, built-in mic. We all know that. We all know this is not a professional job. I can afford to do better, but I don't want to, because I want this channel to be successful on its own self-esteem. This is why I've never asked friends to subscribe to my channel. I've never tried to get loads of people to get me up to 1,000. People have advised me to do it, because I want to measure the popularity of this channel. And right now, what I can see is 50 to 100 views, ultimately by 24 hours after I posted each video. For me, that's steady progress. It's not fantastic, it's not brilliant, but for me it shows that at least a certain amount of people are interested in seeing me. And if I was, let's just say if I had 1,000 subscribers, which I'm not too far away from, I would be on the algorithm, I would be represented on the algorithm better, and I would get even more views. And also, a lot of my titles are not clickbait. So yesterday when I did Batman promo reaction, I was getting a lot more than I usually do. Not by much, but obviously I was further forward in the algorithm. So it's all about your title and what you're going to do. Some people don't know about the DCEU Daily. They don't know what I do. Anyway, and so I think it's about being proud of your own platform and who you are in here. So I could push a button right now, switch this off, push a button, and watch Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. Now, I'm not talking about legally, of course. I'm talking about other ways. I could see it crystal clear, at least in HD, and then I could go on the internet and brag that I've seen it. But I'm not going to do that. I want to watch it with you people. I want to watch it on the 18th. I don't want to stand on the castle and say I'm the king and the king of the castle and you're the dirty rascals. I don't want to do that. I don't want to kiss up to people. I don't need Zack to be my best friend. I just need Zack to keep on making DC movies. Again, yesterday with this promo, he proved how amazing he is. And he needs to make more DC movies, and we're going to try and help him, to enable him to do that. So I don't need him to be my mate. I don't need to go down the pub with him. I'd love Zack to be my friend, of course. Of course I would. And if he spoke to me, I'd be, oh my God, Zack Snyder spoke to me. Of course I would. I'm not saying I don't want these things. I just don't need it. I just don't go the extra mile to try and get it. I don't know if he knows about me. I don't know if he knows my channel. But if he's seen me, and if he's seen this channel, he knows I don't always kiss up to him. He knows I admire him for his DC movies. He knows, if he watches this channel, that I don't lie that I've watched Watchmen and 300 like a billion times. I've watched Watchmen once, and I've watched 300 once. I loved them, and that's how I discovered he was doing Man of Steel and who he was and everything. But in terms of BVS and MOS, that's what I love him for, right? It's like Steven Spielberg. I love Steven Spielberg, but I watched Schindler's List halfway through once and fell asleep. Wasn't interested, right? But I'm interested in E.T. and Close Encounters, so it's a very similar situation to Zack. So Zack knows where I'm at. Zack knows, if he watches this, if he knows about me, he knows I'm a genuine guy, I'm a genuine fan. I work in the industry a little bit, but I'm not a big deal. I'm not famous, but I know my bits and pieces, and I know how this industry works. But I'm a person with opinions. And when I come on here, I don't think, will Zack like me saying this, or will Zack like me saying that? No, it's not about that. I've supported him. I've shouted out his cause, because his cause has been my cause. Because, of course, I've donated to suicide prevention. Of course, I've retweeted things about that charity. I'm proud to support that charity. But that's not why I started this. I got involved in this fight, in this movement, because I wanted to see his Justice League. I wanted to see the continuation of Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. That's why I got into this. I ain't a fucking hero. I ain't pure. I just wanted to see his version of Justice League. I want the continuation of this franchise. He's done a great job with the first two movies, and I want to see the next chapter, and I want him to do more. And this is why I got involved with this movement. I'm not going to lie. But I'm a free spirit, and I need to speak my mind, and I do speak my mind. So if Zack does know about me, and I've upset him sometimes, maybe I said this or that, maybe I've had arguments with people in the fandom, like Wonder Meg, right? Maybe Zack didn't like that. I don't care. I'm not here to win friends or influence people. I know enough people in the industry. I'm connected enough. And I don't use those people that I know from the industry to get a leg up. That's not what I want. I don't want a badge for it. I don't want to be called a hero for it, but I don't. I want people to watch my channel because they like me and they want to watch this. I want people to watch my Instagram because I make them laugh with my body positivity vids and my raps of the day dancing topless. I want them to watch because they want to watch. I could tell you who I know and who my friends are, but I'm not friends with those people because they're famous or they're in the industry. I'm friends with them and I'm involved with them because I love them and I like them as people. And I don't want to use their names to get a step up. So I could easily, destroy the views of all the others, the fans of Zack. I could easily do it. I could easily get myself in front of the queue, but I don't want to do that. I don't want a flash intro. This is the way it's going to stay for now. I would like to do those things, but I want to improve those things when I know people want to see more of this stuff, when I'm popular enough. And if I'm not popular enough, and if this isn't a success, and if everyone unsubscribes and I'm talking to my fucking self every day, I will. My final message about access is this. Don't feel bad because Zack hasn't decided that you should have access. He probably doesn't know about most of us, and that's fine. We can't all have access. We can't all go to the virtual premiere. We can't all get the DVD rip that the critics are getting right. We can't. And I know a lot of you are upset by certain people who have been very outrageous about Zack and said some horrible things. But ultimately, that's how the industry works. It's the prince and the pauper syndrome. If you have access, if you have power, you have access. He needs the critics to watch it. He needs them to do their thing. And of course, the studio want them to have access. It's not just up to Zack. Now, in terms of the fans and people who are being hand-selected to go to the virtual premiere and to maybe watching it now along with the critics, that's Zack's bag, and that's up to Zack. Zack's allowed to choose who he wants. And I understand why a lot of you are upset about this, but I don't want you to feel bad. I want you to be excited for the 18th, because I don't think I'm better than you. I'll be watching this along with you. So please don't be upset. Don't attack the people who have got access. Be happy for them. Have a little, natural envy. Natural envy is fine as long as you don't get bitter about it. My friend used to have a better TV than me years ago when I used to live in a bedsit. And I used to say to him, I'm jealous of you. I wish I had that TV. But it wasn't in a bitter way. It was in a kind of happiness for him way, right? And I think this is what we need to do. So let's focus. We fought for something. We're getting it. The word on Zach is turning around. Lots of positivity around him. So we all should be happy. And, focusing on the 18th of March. Because we're finally going to see this movie. Justice League costumes for Amber Heard's Mira and Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke revealed by Aaron Elarano. I think that's your name. I'm sorry again. Anyway, this is from the DC Direct. At this point, it's no secret that Zack Snyder's Justice League will be very different from the disappointing theatrical outing of the film back in 2017. The new cut of Justice League has been confirmed to be a 4-hour-long affair, meaning that there will be extended scenes and expanded character moments to propel the narrative even further. One of the highly talked about sequences that will be included in Snyder's version is the Nightmare timeline that was introduced from 2016's Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. This post-apocalyptic future is expected to play a pivotal role in the director's cut, potentially providing clues on how the powerful superhero team lost to the forces of Apocalypse led by Darkseid. Now, a brand new look at some of the characters that will be included in the sequence have been revealed. Nightmare Mira and Deathstroke revealed. Twitter user Accidentally Dan, I think, posted several photos of the Nightmare costumes of Mira and Deathstroke that were taken from an exclusive exhibit for Zack Snyder's Justice League in Dallas, Texas. Update. These photos have been removed from Twitter. Descriptions of the pictures can be read below. Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke was seen sitting inside an unknown base while sporting the character's familiar mohawk. Alongside the villain snippets of Ben Affleck's Batman and Jared Leto's Joker were also included. Amber Heard's Mira was pictured in her Nightmare outfit, holding what appeared to be a gas canister of some sort, along with an Atlantean spear. Wow. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Amber's Mira again. I think it's great that Zack brought her on board for the reshoots. An expanded cast of DC characters in Nightmare sequence. In order to complete and improve the Snyder Cut, the visionary director assembled several cast members in order to do reshoots for Justice League. And it was later revealed that it was mainly for the Nightmare timeline. This latest reveal provides a sneak peek at how it all went down. And the surprise inclusion of Amber Heard's Mira and Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke seemingly hints that this sequence consists of an all-star lineup of DC characters. The costume of Mira stays true to its Atlantean roots, and the inclusion of the blasters that were featured in Aquaman is a great bonus. Meanwhile, Deathstroke's protective suit appears to have been a victim of wear and tear, seemingly hinting that the villain has fought a plethora of parademons along the way. It remains to be seen how the Nightmare timeline will be reintroduced in Zack Snyder's Justice League, but it's reasonable to assume that it will be done through the perspective of Bruce Wayne. The brief dream sequence from the Dawn of Justice didn't have much context on what's really happening, but the addition of this timeline to this Justice League can finally pave the way for more answers about the doomed future of the heroes. Interestingly, Snyder did confirm that the Nightmare timeline would have been the premise of the Justice League sequel, and it seems that the sequence from the first film will give fans a taste of what's to come. Sadly, a follow-up is not yet in the works, but this sequence can still provide clues on how the heroes recover from their loss to Darkseid in that specific future. For now, fans can only take a peek at the Nightmare costumes of these characters before the actual live-action debut in Zack Snyder's Justice League this month, so it's very, very exciting. So, as they said on that article from DC Direct, the pictures have been taken down. I did try and see them this morning, but they had been taken down. I did get a screenshot, actually, from this kind of plan of Justice League 2 and Justice League 3. I don't know who's leaked it, if it's Zack who's leaked it. It's very difficult to read. I might do that next, actually, and see if we can make heads or tail of it because it's quite interesting to see what his full plan would have been. But it's great for Mira and Deathstroke to be involved, and I wonder if they'll all be like in a team together in this nightmare future. Very exciting. I can't wait to the 18th, and I know you can't either. Now, this is what it is. Now, someone's leaked this online, and I don't know if it's Zach. Now, I'm going to try and read this out to you, but it is very difficult because the picture wasn't taken properly. Anyway, let's give this a look. So, it's called Justice League Part 2, Parts 2 and 2A. So, what does 2A mean, the third film? Is that what they're trying? No. 2 and 2A. So, I'm not sure what that means. Anyway, although originally pitched as a one film, we believe the character arcs of our heroes and villains, along with the epic battle with Darkseid, who unites the League, the world, and the entire DC universe, warrants 2 films. Right. Again, is this Zach? Did Zach write this on this whiteboard? I don't know. I assume so. However, this does not mean that you have 2 films certified on Darkseid's Invasion. Rather, Justice League 2 would be a very grounded, personal, and character-driven film that would follow the Justice League both together and separately as they mend old wounds on the road to becoming better and stronger heroes. While Lex Luthor, recruits a league of his own. Now, this is interesting, isn't it? Because we had, in Justice League, we had the post-credit scene of Lex saying maybe we should have a league of our own. So basically, these bums, Jeff Johns and Whedon, decided to do the same thing, right? So they cut that film down, right? I'm just reading according to this, right? And so they were going to do an Injustice League movie. So basically, they were just doing what Zack was going to do with Justice League 2, but their own way, I suppose. Look, basically, they got rid of the guy and they were going to do exactly the fucking same thing with the next film. That's what it looks like. They were going to do an Injustice League movie, right? But maybe they just were going to do the same thing Zack was going to do. Anyway, very, very odd. Obviously, Justice League was finished, so they were going to cut out all the stuff that we've just read here about, the League and the DC heroes healing their wounds and things. But they obviously were going to focus on an Injustice League. Anyway, so pretty much ridiculous. Why drive him out if you're pretty much going to do that anyway? So we follow the Justice League both together. And Lex Luthor recruits a league of his own, basically rogue-driven villains introduced in the hero solo films. Dr. Mary, whatever that says. You see, I can't read all of it, I'm afraid. The writing's very... Sorry, Zach, if it's your writing. This is why I don't get access. I can't read Zach's writing. Right, Dr. Maru, that's it, from the Wonder Woman movie. Len Snart, the Rash, I don't know, I can't read that. Open and Body, whatever that says. Aquaman 2018. And the Riddler. Wow. These villains would link all of the DC films together. So from what I can read, Dr. Maru, the Riddler, Len Snart, very interesting. Very exciting. So basically, what Zack was going to do here, very, very exciting if you think about it. He was going to pretty much have a Justice League movie and an Injustice League movie for the sequel of fucking Justice League. Basically, this was going to be that kind of, I suppose in terms of a TV series, you would call it a little bit filler, but a very exciting, clever way to do it. So you have this sequel where the Justice League need to heal, and you get this kind of Injustice League formed. It's a very good idea. I want to see this. Sounds amazing. So, like Empire, listen to this. Like Empire Strikes Back and the last Harry Potter film, Justice League 2 would end with a cliffhanger. Revealing only at the end of the film Lex and his League. Amazing. And connected to Darkseid, then flash forwarding 5 years into the future where Darkseid has taken Earth. Look at this. Look at all this. It's beautiful. Now, I told you Zach's a clever guy, right? He's clearly leaked this on purpose, hasn't he? Look at this. Basically, we've got a road movie, partly a road movie for Justice League 2, as well as this Injustice League being revealed. As I say, Johns and Whedon were going to do this for the next team-up. They were going to have an Injustice League, obviously. Literally, they were going to do a similar thing to what Zack was doing anyway, but with some bright colours and some gags. Why the fuck would you get rid of Zack, drive him out? Ridiculous. Anyway, the hero's arc throughout Part 2 and 2A. With Lois's help, the back from the dead Superman will learn. Here we go. Will learn to being Clark Kent. Will learn about being Clark Kent again, and basically become more human than ever he was, or something like that. So basically, and him and Lois start a family. So Wonder Woman will reconnect with the Amazons and her mother. How awesome would that be? Eventually, regarding their new queen and becoming their new queen. I suppose Dinah was going to become the new queen. I can't read all of it properly, I'm sorry. Remaining there. Warriors with the outside world. So Aquaman, with the help of Mira, will bring the seven kingdoms together, becoming the true king, building a new alliance beyond the oceans and the surface. Now, this is interesting because Aquaman, the film, does a lot of this already, doesn't it? So it looks like they were going to do something different originally. Anyway, the Flash will free himself from the past, releasing his father from prison with Cyborg's help and learning how to master his time traveling abilities, literally becoming able to be in two places at once. And Batman will ultimately sacrifice his life on these unlikely frights, or whatever it says, and the woman he loves, leaving behind a legacy that will never truly die. So that's the thing. This is amazing. That's amazing. I wasn't even sure if I was going to read this today. How stupid am I? How can I call this the DCEU Daily and not read this? That, my friends, is sensational. So look, I don't want to get into trouble here. So I don't want to say things for sure. But allegedly, I'm saying that it looks like Zack's made sure that his plan for Justice League 2A, was leaked because it energizes us, the fans, to talk about this. Now, a lot of people have been saying, oh, we don't want to see spoilers, blah, blah, blah. This doesn't spoil anything from the movie anyway, right? It doesn't. It doesn't tell you what we're supposed to expect, except, look, I've spoken to quite a few people now who have seen the movie, critics, right? They're raving about the movie, but I made sure they've told me jack shit about the movie. I've made it clear I don't want to know. This is what I'm saying to you. We talk about access. I can talk to anyone about what's happened in this movie. I can press a button and watch this movie, but I want to watch it legally, properly with you. And so that's not going to happen. So anyway, so look, this has come out so we can keep fighting. This has come out to restore the Snyderverse. But for me personally, that sounds an amazing sequel to Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. I want to see it. I want to see it made. Obviously, some of it will have to be revised and rethought because some of that stuff kind of was sorted out in the Aquaman movie in terms of Aquaman's arc. But what you can see from this sequel is that this is, as he says, a character-driven movie. It's about healing. It's about healing old rifts. It's about each character going back to where they're from in a way. Superman and Lois helps Superman become like Clark Kent again and embrace his human side more, because obviously what happened to him in his death and what happened with Darkseid really affected him and took his humanity away. And so some of that and all of that will be referenced in Justice League Snyder Cut, which I can't wait to see. And so Batman ultimately sacrifices himself. It sounds amazing. It truly sounds amazing. Now, I do apologise I couldn't read it all coherently, but from what I can see there, we have been given every reason to fight to restore the Snyder Cut. Wow. Well, this is an interesting one. Zack Snyder's Justice League exhibits Harley Quinn Easter egg for Joker scene. With several years having passed since the disastrous 2017 release of Justice League, original director Zack Snyder is preparing to bring his vision of the DC superhuman team to life this month on HBO Max. Zack Snyder's Justice League has more than doubled the length of the film into a 4-hour epic, with a multi-chapter saga of new footage. A notable addition to the film is the new Nightmare Vision sequence for Ben Affleck's Batman that was recently filmed during the director's reshoots. The sequence was created to foreshadow Snyder's scrap plans for a Justice League sequel, and will feature appearances from several major DC heroes and villains, including the return of Jared Leto's controversial Suicide Squad Joker. A limited time exhibit in downtown Dallas called The Dreamscape of Zack Snyder's Justice League, featuring many costumes and props from the upcoming film, has recently opened its doors. The exhibit notably includes items from the new Nightmare sequence that were recently filmed for Snyder's upcoming recut of the 2017 film. Images shared on Twitter taken in the Dallas event showcase a new look at Jared Leto's religious-inspired Joker costume he will don in the movie for his long-awaited return to the role. The new attire also features the character armed with weapons previously carried by the Joker and Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. And so, actually, I better not show them to you because I don't want this video taken down, but they do look pretty cool. But we don't want to get into trouble, do we? I'm sure some of you have already seen them. Joker's costume is shown to feature a holster carrying the same royal purple decorated gun he used during his brief role as an antagonist of the 2017 Suicide Squad movie. The world decorate prop has previously been shown through concept art from Leto's original appearance in the role. Zack Snyder's take on the version of the Joker appears to be drastically different from how David Ayer previously explored the character, so the use of a classic weapon provides a nice callback to his roots. Additionally, the Joker can be seen with Harley Quinn's gun holstered that she carried in the same film, before turning into a DCEU hit favourite. Harley Quinn's revolver was shown to be a key part of her arsenal in Suicide Squad, with the gun cylinders marked with the words love and hate on each side. The Joker accomplice was first introduced to the DCEU after Zack Snyder's tragic departure from the world, meaning he has never had a chance to work with or mention the character since she became a household name. Snyder's choice to include Leto's Joker in the Justice League reshoots 4 years after the film originally wrapped production suggests that the character may have played a major role in the planned sequels. The exact meaning of the Jesus-inspired outfit for the Joker is likely to be one of the more cryptic elements of the superhero epic that fans will be discussing for some time to come. The relationship between Ben Affleck's DCEU Batman and the Joker has yet to be properly explored on screen, and while fans will unlikely ever see a full film of the conflict, the new scenes will offer a taste of it. It's clear this version of the Joker has been around for some time now, and is believed to have killed a previous version of Robin, Dick Grayson. In the DCEU, scenes shared between the two could be used to shed further light on this and offer hardcore fans the answers they've been waiting for. Additionally, it's exciting to see a reference included to Harley Quinn, who has grown into one of the standout stars of the DCEU thanks to Margot Robbie's well-received portrayal. Can we just say something? Margot Robbie couldn't have portrayed it so well in Suicide Squad if David Ayer didn't direct her properly. Let's be clear about that, and wrote it properly. It's unlikely the character will make an appearance in the film unless in the form of a surprise cameo. However, she may briefly see some subtle mentions and Easter eggs. Zack Snyder's Justice League will release exclusively on HBO Max on March the 18th. Wouldn't surprise me if Margot makes a surprise appearance in Zack Snyder's Justice League, although unlikely, you just never know. In fact, I expect many surprises that we don't know about. Zack's not going to show all his cards, and that makes me even more excited to see this movie. Batman v Superman IMAX remastered trailer released. I just took a look at it. It doesn't really show you too much. We don't know if there's going to be anything new in sequence-wise. I doubt it, but it's certainly more colour in it. It's an IMAX edition. It's going to be awesome. I definitely want to purchase it and see if I can pre-order it. End of March, I think it's coming out. Zack Snyder's name has been everywhere these days after Warner Brothers attempted to sideline him from their DCEU productions, a mistake they're never going to live down, by bringing in Joss Whedon to take over Justice League. At this point, you'd think that fans wouldn't have had much more of Snyder's work advertised to them, let alone new content. Little did Warner Brothers know that their Whedon move would only end in the box office catastrophe and an endless string of controversy stemming from Joss Whedon himself. Much to Warner Brothers' chagrin, they brought Zack Snyder back into the public light, officially letting him finish the much-rumoured and fan-coveted Snyder Cut. Now it's a real thing. Comprised 6 chapters and clocking in at over 4 hours long, Snyder's full vision will be realised for better or for worse. For better. On top of that, this has given him the chance to go back to his past offerings. This includes remastering Batman v Superman, a project that was announced back in February. Now fans have their first official look at what Snyder has in store for them. The official Batman v Superman Twitter account has posted the first trailer for the new 4K Ultra HD IMAX Enhanced Edition release of the film, formerly known as Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. The Twitter account says this: Get ready to experience Batman v Superman in a whole new way. Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition available to own on digital and stream on HBO Max free 18th of March. Oh, interesting. Hey, what? So it's going to be on the same day as Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's amazing. Available on 4K and Ultra HD on the 23rd of March. The new edition of the film will be available on digital and to stream on HBO Max on the 18th of March, the same day as Zack Snyder's Justice League. It will then have a physical release on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray on the 23rd of March. It's quite a good time to be a Zack Snyder DCEU fan. Isn't it great that we've been fans all along though? If you had asked a year ago, many certainly wouldn't have predicted that he'd come back into the spotlight in regard to DC's upcoming projects. Now fans not only have Zack Snyder's Justice League to look forward to in a couple of weeks, but also a remaster of the events leading up to the big team-up. Whether you are a fan of Zack Snyder's work or not, there is something fascinating about this remastered release, IMAX. The fact that it is the IMAX version of the film is extremely rare, and it isn't something seen very often for any films out there. Even the highest grossing film of all time, Avengers Endgame, which was specifically filmed entirely with IMAX cameras, isn't available in the premium format to the public. This is interesting. This shows you how powerful Zack actually is, and he's got a lot more influence in the industry than I think a lot of us imagine. How is he doing this? He helped us fight and tool up to get the Snyder Cut. And all of a sudden, he's able to, bring out, an IMAX remastered version of BVS. This just shows you Zack isn't as down on the ground as everyone thought he was, and it's sensational. The small list of IMAX Enhanced films that the public can purchase to view is up on Fandango now, and is composed of whopping a total of 36 films. While one can't expect Zack Snyder to set any new trends in the industry these days, it certainly wouldn't be terrible to get the ball rolling on making IMAX versions of the films fans love and readily available to the public. It's truly a shame that the format is held so close to IMAX's chest. Changing this can only result in good things. Well, I'll tell you why IMAX hold it to their chests, because they try and leave it for cinematic and movie releases and movie theatre releases, because that's where they've always believed the big money is. And to kind of get you to go and see it in IMAX is, if you can watch it on Blu-ray and at home, what's the point? We do not know the future of the movie theatre as a whole. We know that COVID, with the vaccine now, I think by September you won't be hearing a lot about COVID, and we're getting even more and more vaccines, which is great. But the future of movie theatres, is everyone going to go back to them? I would imagine so, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's why IMAX has never really had a major home release, because that's to save for the theatrical kind of releases. And quite right too, they want to make their money there, and it's a correct decision. Batman v Superman's future Flash confirmed for Justice League. That's great news. The future version of The Flash, Ezra Miller from Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, is confirmed to appear in Zack Snyder's Justice League by Rachel Abernathy of Screen Rant. The future version of The Flash from Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice is confirmed to appear in Zack Snyder's Justice League. As DC fans know by now, the Snyder Cut is director Zack Snyder's original Justice League, the film he intended to make before he departed the project. In the middle of production, fans have long campaigned to see Snyder's version of the movie in all its glory, and all of this time, the finished Justice League will finally arrive on HBO Max in 2 weeks. Though Snyder has already revealed much about the film, the 4-hour cut is guaranteed to include plenty of surprises. Yes, definitely. In one of the more notable changes from the theatrical Justice League to Snyder's, the new film will finally explore the nightmare timeline teased in Batman v Superman, that the DCEU installment saw Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck have a vision of a post-apocalyptic future where Darkseid and his followers have taken over the Earth and Superman Henry Cavill has turned dark. Bruce received a word of this potential future when a Barry Allen Ezra Miller from that timeline reached out to him. The Batman v Superman scene was for some quite confusing, but Justice League looks to finally pay off in several ways. This is another criticism of BVS. I don't see how it's confusing unless you've got nothing up here. It's obvious what's going on. He's just seen the timeline. Future Flash turns up. It's clearly obvious that Future Flash is projecting the nightmare future to him, then gives his message. It's obvious. Wasn't it obvious to you lot? I don't know. This includes featuring the future version of The Flash. Snyder fan accidentally, Danny, visited the Zack Snyder's Justice League exhibition and shared some photos of the displays found there. Among the various costumes from the Nightmare timeline is one for the Flash, indicating that Barry glimpsed indicating that Barry glimpsed in Batman v Superman will factor into Justice League. You can check out the images down below. You can't because they've been taken away, and we're not going to show them anyway because I don't want this video taken down. Justice League is Snyder's chance to see through all things he's wanted to do with the DCEU. This was already clear from the addition of Jared Leto's Joker, but the special emphasis on the Nightmare timeline further indicates Snyder is going all in with this movie. The future Flash's warning in Batman v Superman was clearly setting something up for a future movie, and now years later it's finally coming to fruition. This also means that after Justice League, fans can re-watch BVS and view it in a brand new light. Miller's Barry is already guaranteed to return for another DCEU installment with 2022's The Flashpoint movie, but it remains to be seen what could happen with Snyder. The director has insisted Warner Bros. Has no interest in a Justice League 2 or anything else, and there are currently no official plans for Snyder to return to the franchise. Many fans would like to see him continue his story, but it seems unlikely that he will. At least Justice League will provide the opportunity for some to get closure as they finally see the story they thought they were getting years ago. There's no closure. Let me be absolutely clear about this so there's no misunderstanding where I sit on this. There is no closure. We are fighting to restore the Snyderverse. It will be restored. We may have to fight for another 2 years on. Even if this film is so successful, Zack said, we probably won't hear anything straight away. But we keep on fighting, we keep on hashtagging, and we watch the shit out of this movie and talk about it and hashtag it all the time. This is big. This is massive. The industry knows it. We know it. And behind closed doors, Zack knows it too. And finally, away from the Snyder Cut, there's an interesting Screen Rant article by Michael Kennedy. Why every major Batman villain should have their Joker film. I agree. And Superman villain and every villain. I think a Harley Quinn one-off movie, not necessarily starring Margot Robbie, would be sensational. Batman boasts the best rogues gallery of villains in comic books, and the major ones each deserve their own Joker-esque movie spotlight. Batman boasts the best rogues gallery of villains in comic books, and the major ones each deserve their own Joker-esque movie spotlight. There are lots of great villains running around in both the DC and Marvel universes, but when it comes a single hero's lineup of foes, it's hard to compete with Batman. The lineup of supervillains, either native to or that have spent lots of time menacing Gotham City, is extensive and formidable and consists of some truly iconic evildoers. However, as popular as many of these villains are, the only one to ever receive their own movie is the Joker, which came in 2019 and ended up winning star Joaquin Phoenix an Oscar for his work as the Clown Prince of Crime. While Joker is definitely Batman's signature nemesis, he's far from the only Batman villain. Interestingly enough, to warrant their own solo vehicle, perhaps one revealing their origin story or delving into what makes them tick and drives them to do the dastardly things that they do. With the market for comic book-based product bigger than it's ever been, the time is right for more of Gotham's leading bad guys and gals to get their own moment in the movie sun, or perhaps more appropriately, their time under the shadowy spotlight. Ever since superhero movies truly began to become a box office juggernaut in the early 2000s, even before the MCU took things to even bigger heights of profitability, industry prognosticators and doomsayers alike have been trying to predict when the bubble would burst. Surely there had to be a limit to how many Marvel and DC-based films the movie-going public would devour before they go full. Yet, outside of a few rare misfires, the market for comic book movies has remained stable, even when the characters involved, such as Guardians of the Galaxy and Shazam, are far from household names. This is true. Look, there is no superhero fatigue, and anyone who's talking about it wants it to happen. The media would love it. They always talk about it, but it's a media slogan, and it ain't happening anytime soon. That's why the financial failure of Joss Whedon's Justice League was so shocking. Well, in fact, doesn't it show the popularity of comic book movies? That's a shit movie like that, and it really was shit, right? A mess. An embarrassment made just about 650 million in the global box office. That shows that people, well, it's Justice League. They gave it a chance, but there were no repeat views because it was terrible. As more often than not, whatever Marvel or DC puts their stamp on ends up being highly profitable. Even divisive product like Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, with Joker proving that movies focused solely on supervillains can excel both critically and commercially if made well, even despite an R rating. Now is the time for DC to strike while the iron is hot and give the same treatment to other Bat villains. Even if they're all standalone stories like that one, without a Batman running around, a more realistic, gritty Joker-style take on the violent escapades that moulded people like Penguin, Riddler, Two-Face, Scarecrow, Bane, or Poison Ivy could all be great if they placed in the right creative hands. Yeah, Todd Phillips. Catwoman could even get her own anti-hero star vehicle a la Harley Quinn, hopefully washing away the taste of the Razzie-winning Catwoman movie. Well, Warner Brothers have been insane for years, haven't they? Even before the mistakes with Snyder. Anyway, Harley Quinn Catwoman movie starring Halle Berry. Cast actors the quality of Phoenix in the lead. Hire a top-notch director and watch the money roll in. I agree. He's right. Michael Kennedy's spot on. A good little article there. I don't know what's going on, to be honest. I mean, Joker movie was a massive hit for Warner Media. Greenlit by Walter Hamada. Nearly forgot the guy's name there. Greenlit by Walter Hamada. Big hit. They weren't confident about the movie doing well, so they shared the kind of investment. A lot of people think that was a mistake because it ended up being a hit. But listen, whenever you pitch a movie and you greenlight a movie and you invest in a movie, you have to decide as a studio and producers whether it's going to be big or not. They didn't know. They wasn't sure. So they still greenlit it. Walter still greenlit it. Let's remember that. But it was a big hit, and it proves if you put everything in Todd Phillips' hands, because he did have this idea, he did go to them. I've got this idea of doing all these standalone DC villain movies, and they said, hold your horses, do this one first, and we'll see how you get on. We haven't actually heard anything else. There were rumours. There's even been rumours about a Joker sequel. You know, give Todd this DC Dark universe that he has a plan for and let him do it. Maybe he could do a team-up one day. It would be sensational. And so, yes, Michael Kennedy is spot on, and we want to see that. Wow! Clocking into nearly 50 minutes is nearly the end of another dceu Daily. Alas for me, maybe yeah for you. Maybe you've had enough of me. Don't. It's okay. I'm cool. You're cool too. Anyway, the Snyder Cut is approaching. Everyone has their opinions and hot takes. Some people are happy. Some people are unhappy with what's going on within our fandom. But at the end of the day, we've got to hold tight. Hold steady. not lose our nerve or shit now. There's a job to do here. There's a job to watch the shit out of this movie, to talk about it on social media. And believe you me, I'm very confident about this movie. And also, I mean, by the time you've seen this video, we've probably had a character promo trailer lasting for about 30 seconds, the same as the Batman one, probably released by Zack by now. And I think today he gets his award for suicide prevention as well, which is awesome for him and Deb as well. So who do I think? This is interesting because you would have seen the trailer by the time you see this video. So I'm predicting a Superman character trailer today. I could be wrong. Maybe he'll keep Superman under wraps. But he started with Batman. It's either going to be Superman or Wonder Woman. I can't see it being anyone else today. But I'm really excited to see who he's doing a character promo on later on today. So please comment down below. Let the world know about this channel and me. Like, share and subscribe. And I'll be back maybe with a reaction of the new promo. But I will be back tomorrow definitely with another DCEU Daily. See you again soon.